Yep, we've hit the 50 mark, so I'm very, very happy. Let's aim for 60 next week, will we?
Yeah.
Keep growing. There's such a need for this. There's such a need for this. And so what I'm going to do is, so if everyone's ready, I'm just going to give a little disclaimer here. So I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist. This is a relaxation technique. So I need you to take responsibility for yourself. Okay, and that's why I'm a self-empowerment coach. From day one, I get you to do the work. You do the hard work. I'm just going to guide you and support you. Okay, so how we're going to start is, I always like to start in a really, get everyone really relaxed and in a really nice place. So when you're all ready, mute yourself if you need to, if you notice you're being a bit noisy, especially this part. Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mute everyone. Okay. All right. So what I'd like you to do is close your eyes. Just close your eyes and just notice your breath. Notice the rise and fall of your breath as it's coming in and out. Notice the chair underneath you. Notice your feet on the floor. Notice where your hands are. And just breathing gently in and out. Notice your shoulders are relaxing and your jaws relaxing. And all the muscles in your face are relaxing as you're just gently being breathed. And now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to think about one thing that you're grateful for right now. So I'm incredibly grateful for the young boy who comes down from the neighbour and he walks my dog for me every day, and I'm going to send some gratitude to him today. Let's just bring to mind someone or something that you're really grateful for today. And I want you to notice them in front of you, or notice that feeling inside of you of that gratitude and where that resides inside of you. Just notice that. And feel that feeling of gratitude. And make it stronger and make it bigger. That feeling right there of gratitude, the warmth of it, the love, the kindness, the compassion. And what I'd like you to do is make that stronger, make it bigger and bigger. And send it, just send it to that person. If it's a person, send it to them. And notice them receiving it and sending it back to you, and it's even bigger. Receive it and feel that feeling in your body, how good it is. And now what I'd like you to do is open your eyes and just give yourself a big butterfly hug. Big butterfly hug is like this, like this. That's it. Haven't we all been missing those hugs? Oh my goodness. Especially from my grandchildren. I can't wait to hug them. I've told them they're going to get extra big ones and more of them. So how was that, everyone? Good? Good, good. Okay, so this is your workshop. So I want you asking questions when you need to, okay? And I'm just going to unmute everyone now. So this is, yes, your workshop. So at any time you need to ask a question, just go ahead and ask, okay? So the first thing I'm going to ask you is, how many of you, I'm presuming that pretty much all of you know how to do the tapping FasterEFT style. Is there anyone there who hasn't done it, doesn't know anything about it? Can you just let me know, please?
I have
Sorry, who's that?
Cindy.
Cindy?
Yes, I
Hi,
have.
Cindy. If anyone's there a bit noisy, just mute yourself, please. Actually, what I'll do is I'll just mute everyone, and then I'll get you to unmute yourself when you speak. How's that? Okay? So, Cindy, what got you curious to come today?
I have come across you before at our local hairdressers.
Yes, I remember you now. Yes.
Yes.
And look, I got my hair cut again. Yes.
You're lucky in the current climate.
She's seeing one person at a time. my hairdresser. I've got a new one. Yes.
Right.
One person at a time, very clean.
I'd like to go back to the old one, but anyway.
Okay, so what got you interested in this style of tapping?
Well, I haven't done anything like this before, and our mutual friend was telling me how wonderful it was.
Oh, that's good.
I should come along and see you, but just being very time poor, I haven't been able to. And then I stumbled across your post. It was only yesterday.
Lovely. Oh, lovely. Okay. So everybody else here knows how to do the tapping FasterEFT style. Yes? Gail, you're okay? Awesome. So what I've been doing as people have been registering to get us all on the same page as we move along with these workshops is I'll send you out a little video just to show it so that you can watch it quickly and learn how to tap, and then I'll kind of expand on that more as we go. Okay. So Cindy, what we might start with then, and I'll remember that you haven't tapped before, and I'll be guiding you a little bit more. But what I'd like everybody to do is tell me, first of all, what's been bothering you the most during this whole COVID-19 lockdown? I need a few people. Just tell me what's bothering you the most and what I can help with today. And just unmute yourself as you go. Yep, Lee?
It's been bothering me that there are so many people in nursing homes that can't have visitors.
Yes.
And especially in the UK, apparently there are two.
And what bothers you the most about it?
It bothers me that there are people dying in nursing homes, especially
dying alone
without any medical intervention, without families beside them.
And how much does that bother you? I'm going to interrupt a fair bit because I've got to keep it flowing and keep to time. So I just want kind of the key things. So what bothers you about that the most?
It's a sadness because my mother is not alive anymore, but she was in a nursing home.
Sad.
And I know.
Did she die alone?
I was with her for the last.
Okay.
No, I was with her for the last 2 days, but I had to push for that.
Okay. So it's these people that are dying alone.
Yes.
Thank you, Lee. Thanks for sharing that. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah.
Laura? Was that Laura? Yes.
Yeah. A lot of anger.
Yes.
Around a lot of anger and fear around my government's handling of the whole situation.
The government. Yeah. Your leaders, right?
What's that?
Your leaders.
Yes.
Yeah.
That scares me.
How angry and scared.
Yeah, and scared.
Yeah. Okay. Anyone else?
Alita? Deborah, can you hear me?
Deborah? Hi, Deborah.
Oh,
yes.
Hi. It's the future that I'm really worried about.
Very concerning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And what's the worst part about that for you?
Not being able to go back to normal, worried about, finances and family.
Yes, this normal is going to be very different for everyone, isn't it? It's going to be very new normal, I think. Yeah, yeah. Anyone else?
Yes, a lot of fear of like catching it and leaving my kids and my family behind.
Yeah, yes, yeah. It's a big one, isn't it? You're going to leave you, get sick and die and leave the children. How strong is that, Gail?
A lot.
Pretty strong?
Very strong.
Cool, good. And Rebecca, you had your hand up?
Yeah, I've got fear around the laws or legislations that have been brought in around our sovereignty, our freedom, that may have been brought in with the reason of managing COVID, but I'm afraid that they're not going to get pulled back once it goes.
Yep. So your rights and your freedms.
Yeah, freedom, definitely.
Okay. So one of the reasons why I'm asking all of this, and I know we're all facing this, okay? And I hear stories every day of people that are struggling. And one of the things that I've been offering are my 30-minute sessions. So I want you all to keep that in mind. So when I work with people, I have a range of options that they can have and a range of price points as well. So I go from a 30-minute chat to see how we can work together. That's free. And then I do my turbo sessions with it, which are 30 minutes for $30, incredible value. And you can, so what I've been doing is people have been ringing me up or booking saying, look, I'm just going through so much overwhelm at the moment. Can you help me? And then I'll tap with them for 30 minutes and just really diffuse that in their body. Okay. So I also do 1 hour sessions I have worked with a lot of people with chronic illness. So, you know, my story, my background, why I'm doing this is I lived with chronic illness, chronic pain for 17 years. I was bedridden for 11 years. I was very, very ill. And if I wasn't almost dying from the disease, I was almost dying from the medication, or I was trying to kill myself. You know, that's how bad it was. I was miserable. And so when I found FasterEFT and it made such a huge impact for me, I jumped on board and I just started doing the training and I try and help as many people as I can. I also have my intensive sessions are 2 hours, and many of you have done those. They're very, very intensive. We go really deep to the core of that problem. But one of the things that I have discovered, and one of the things that Robert Smith, who's the creator of FasterEFT, is a genius how he's created this. What he's done is can someone just mute themselves? There's a fair bit of noise in the background. If you're on, thank you. So Robert Smith, who's the creator of FasterEFT, what he teaches us is there's 2 models of the world. There's the lower model of the world and there's the upper model of the world. And that's pretty much where all human beings operate from. It's where our fight, flight, freeze response and comes on, you know, or we live from a place of power and peace and joy, and that's all the upper model of the world. You know, it is possible to be happy and feel happy every day. That is possible. I've got to tell you guys that, because that's how I live my life now. I had 17 years of misery, but now if you do this work, honestly, and I'll tell you a little bit about this upper and lower model of the world, you can have complete freedom. Right? And you won't feel like your rights and your freedom's been taken away from you, because you're still going to come from a place of feeling that freedom, because what we're doing is we focusing on the internal processes, what's going on inside of it and less outside. Okay, so at the moment, we're all operating from the lower model of the world. Now, the lower model of the world is I am the victim of my environment. So whatever's going on around me, that's why I'm feeling miserable. Okay, it's the government, it's all the legislation, it's the I can't do this and I can't do that and I haven't got my work, and you know, fear of the future. All of that is the lower model of the world thinking. So it becomes a thinking system. And what that does is it creates a lot of fear in us. It creates anger. It creates sadness and all those other emotions that we've been feeling. Okay, that's the lower model of the world. And we mostly live from that lower model of the world is because that's how we started off as children, right? We were little babies. We had to totally depend on our environment to sustain us, to live, to get all our needs met. We had to rely on the environment. That's all we had. We couldn't do it ourselves. So we learn it from a very early age. You know, I feel sad because that kid at school, you know, hit me. Or I'm angry because my mother didn't give me pocket money this week. So our brains are wired from a very early age that we've got to look outside of us. Okay, so this is very different thinking. But if you can understand this, and if you want to know more, because I'm only just going to breeze through stuff today, I want to get to the tapping bit, right? If you want to know more, please go onto the FasterEFT.com website. I wonder if you could put that into the chat bar for me, please. And also my website as well. So you go to FasterEFT.com, there's a 5-day free course. Okay, you register and you join the platform called Talent LMS and you can watch those videos there. If you want to watch the video on what I'm talking about now, that Robert teaches the lower and upper model of the world, you go to YouTube, his YouTube channel, which is Neuroplasticity Made Easy, and you'll find it there. And what I'll do is I'll email it out to everybody after this as well. Because if you get to understand this and know it, my goodness, it will give you complete freedom. It'll empower you to live the life that you want to live and not be just like a leaf, you know, being thrown around in the wind, just like a feather just floating around. You know, you'll have more choices if you can live your life from the upper model of the world. And, you know, make a goal of working towards that. It's a process. You won't do it overnight just like that, but you've got to decide that's what I want. I don't want to feel this anger towards my government. I don't want to feel this sadness towards legislations. You know, I don't want to feel this fear. And just decide that's where you're going to live from. It is possible for all of that to be going on. Thank you, Sarah. For all of that to be going on and still feel peace and harmony inside of you. You know, I've had clients call me and say to me, these are clients who are very anxious or very panicky people before they started doing this work. And they're ringing me up and telling me I'm so calm. I'm so relaxed. This is not bothering me. And if it does bother me, I just tap, you know. So that's what I wanted to share with you today, that upper and lower model of the world. Now, has anyone got any questions about that for me?
Lolita, you said to go on the website and to join the platform, but I missed what that platform was.
It's in the chat bar. You can have a look later.
Okay.
And I'll also be emailing it out. Any other questions about the upper and lower model of the world?
Yes, can you repeat what exactly is the upper model?
Okay, so the upper model is JP. I almost called you PJ.
Oh, it's okay.
JP, yes. JP, the upper model of the world is, I'm feeling like this, and it's inside of me, right? So, you know, I tell people about this argument I had with my husband a little while ago. You know, he was saying some stuff that was really hurtful, and normally, hello, little one, hi. So what normally happens in situations with us, right? If it's, we immediately blame the other person, you know? So that's the lower model of the world. You're doing this to me and I feel bad. So what happens once you work through a lot of your internal processes, and as you know, with FasterEFT, we work with memories, we work with beliefs, we work with programming, childhood programming, okay? So once you work on some of those things, what you will notice is that you will be living more from the upper model of the world. You'll be taking full responsibility.
Okay.
So what I said to my husband was, yes, I was upset, and I was going to leave the room to go and tap, and he knew that's what I was going to do. And he apologized, which is very rare, but he did. And I said to him, do you know what? This is my responsibility. I'm the one who's feeling it, right? And my programming was, I would get hurt and upset by something that he said to me, and I would feel miserable for days and sometimes weeks, right? And the next time something had happened, I'd bring that stuff back up. Who does that, right, with their partners? Well, you do it all the time. Last time you said that, you did that. But I took responsibility. So I went to the upper model of the world and I said, this is my responsibility. I'm going to deal with it. And I went away and I sat down and I tapped. When you tap, what it does is, first of all, you're taking emotional control. You're dealing with it. It's happening inside of you. So you now have a tool. I didn't have one before. I didn't have a tool to take emotional control. Yes, I was meditating for a long time, but, you know, not in the heat of the moment. You can't do that, right? This was heat of the moment, emotions rising in me. And so I took emotional control, I tapped, and when I tapped, what tapping does is it brings you back to the present, brings you back into the present moment, right? And from that present, you can be more loving, you can be more compassionate, you can be more kind, and the arguments don't escalate, right? Does that make sense, JP?
Yes, it does. Yes.
Yeah. And take, for example, the, you know, Laura, about the government, right? We can't do anything about that. It's outside of us. But we can take responsibility for how we feel about it, right? Same with Lee, with the nursing home. We can't do anything about it. All that's going to happen is, if we're angry and sad and feel all those emotions, it's just going to make us sick, right? Yeah. Because every time you feel those heightened emotions and go into that fight, flight response, your nervous system is being dumped with a whole lot of cortisol and adrenaline. It's a cocktail of chemicals that floods your body, and that affects you sleeping. That affects your immune system. That affects your hormones, your pain in your body, right? And a whole heap of other things. So if you can learn to take emotional control by stepping up to that upper model of the world, you're going to have such an amazing life. I can tell you, amazing, amazing life. Nothing will bother you. Just, that doesn't mean you're not going to care. It doesn't. I've got an enormous amount of compassion in me for others and for the state of the planet. I care deeply, but I'm not going to go into panic. I'm not going to go into anxiety. I'm not going to lose sleep over it, okay? I'd rather lose sleep like I did last night because I was so excited about today.
I'd love you to teach me that.
I can. And all you need to do, everyone, is take responsibility. Take responsibility and do the work. Watch the videos. Keep coming to these. Learn. Come and have sessions with me. Learn about the brain. I'm constantly learning from the brain. I've got so many brain mentors that I learn from, and learn from them. I put a post on my Facebook group you might all want to watch. My goodness, I watched it yesterday and it just blew my mind. But one of my favourite mentors is Dr. Gabor Mate, right? And he is the addiction man. He's the trauma and addiction man. But he talks about the brain.
Good boy.
Yes. And I'm not sure who that is. If you could just mute yourself if it's noisy, please. So he talks about, and please watch it because it'll help you to understand what's happening in the world. It'll help you understand why people are panic buying, why they're doing the things that they're doing. And what he says, it's if you have this is the biggest trauma that any of us have ever had to face, right? The major, major trauma that's affecting the whole world. Every single human being on the planet is being affected by this one thing. Now, when is that likely to happen again? Maybe another war, yes, or every time there's a war it affects us, but nothing like this. So it's, I'm seeing it as an incredible opportunity to grow, for us to grow as human beings internally, right? If you do anything throughout this process, do the internal work. Go in and fix all that stuff up inside of you that's been there since your childhood. It's a great opportunity. Watch the videos, learn from them, ask me questions. I'm here for you. JP?
What's the name and where's the video of the guy who talks about the brain?
Dr. Gabor Mate?
Yeah.
He's one of them. You'll find him, have a look later on my Facebook page. Wanda, there's some questions?
Yeah, there's two. Would you like?
Thank you. Yes.
Can you see them?
No.
Ah, right. So from Benedicte, is it?
Hi, Benedict. If I'm pronouncing that right, yes?
I'm not sure. We may take responsibility, but what about the other person taking responsibility? Isn't it important to point out to them they should not get angry and upset people by their behaviour?
Good question. Good question. The upper model of the world says that you can't change other people. You can only change yourself. And when you change, they will change. So we can't take responsibility for other people's behavior. We don't know what they're struggling with. We don't know what they're dealing with, okay? So if you come from a place, if you do the work on yourself, you'll come from a place of love and compassion, and more than likely that person's behavior will change because maybe they're behaving the way they are because they're in pain inside of themselves. They're in torture, they're in agony, and they don't know how to express that. And so their behavior will show it. So behavior is always a result of what we're thinking first. So what you're thinking first will then become the emotion, the feeling, right? So I'm having thoughts in my head. I'm so angry with that person. And then I'll have the feeling of that anger, and then my behavior will show up in whatever, I might get angry and throw something or, slam the door and walk out and go and play pokies, whatever, that's the behavior. So we can't take responsibility for other people's behavior, only our own. And that's upper model of the world. Wanda?
More. Sue Watts, I'd like to ask about childhood trauma and the neural pathways that are often mostly outside our awareness. Are we dissociated?
Good question, Sue. That's a really big one, isn't it? Where I would like to direct you to, if you want to know more about that, Dr. Gabor Mate is one. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk is another person that I learned from. But the most astounding information that's at all our fingertips is the Adverse Childhood Experience Study, ACE. I talk about it all the time. It's a profound study. You can all go online, look for it, do it yourself if you think that that has had an impact on you. Adverse Childhood Experience Study is the largest study that's ever been done with the most people, and yet, you know, when I was sick, it was never mentioned once. And I went to lots and lots of practitioners, lots of doctors, lots of psychiatrists, psychologists, everyone, and nobody mentioned it, right? And yet, I tick most of those boxes. I'm very high in the ACE study. Now, what the ACE study does is if you tick a lot of the boxes, for example, your parents divorced when you were young, you were sexually abused when you were young, one of your parents had a mental illness, one of them was incarcerated, one of them had an addiction, any of those things, and there's a whole long list of them. If you tick a lot of those, the likelihood of you having a disease, an illness, is very high. The likelihood of you suffering with a mental illness is very high. But our whole mental health industry doesn't even look at it, you know. So I'm very passionate about this because it had a big impact on me, and every client that I see has had either something there that's really impacted them. Okay. Does that answer your question a little bit, Sue? It's a big topic,
Yeah.
big topic. And so what happens is when you experience the childhood traumas, your brain gets rewired differently. The neural pathways of your brain are wired differently. And that's why we behave differently. Okay? Every one of us has got our whole life experience behind us that has a great impact on our lives, massive impact. In fact, people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's one of my mentors, he says we live in the past 24/7. So if you've had these childhood traumas, then that's going to be impacting your present decisions, your present choices that you make now in your life. And you don't even realize that you're doing it. So we live from the subconscious 98% of the time. And it's the subconscious that's driving the bus. Okay? That's what's making the choices and decisions for you.
Can I just add to that?
Yes.
Because of the neural pathways, that was another question I put up, which obviously you're not seeing, but you said that your behaviour comes from a thought. My understanding from neural pathway issues and all of that is that actually it starts in the body. The feeling starts in the body, and that drives everything.
The thought?
Yeah, so if you're dissociated, you're not necessarily
disassociating is very different. Yeah, disassociating is very different. You're disassociating means that so much bad stuff has happened that you've shut down, you're in freeze. You don't want to feel it, you don't want to think it, but it's still there. It's all still there, but you've just become very good at disassociating from those things because it's not safe for you to feel them, right? So that's why people disassociate.
That's what my point is. There's not always a thought that's clear.
That's right. That's right. And one of the things I do, I wrote it down this morning actually, there's lots and lots of different ways to tap on different things, you know, and that's one of the things I love to do. I love teaching people to refine their tapping and tap on different aspects, you know, like I work with people who have food fears. They have a lot of food issues. So I have a process that, and taught by Robert, but I've really refined it because I've had so many clients with this issue. And so I teach them how to tap just on these food issues, okay? Pain is another one. You know, you'll tap on pain in a different way, right? You'll tap on memories in a different way. So if you're a person that's constantly having memories, you know, surfacing all the time and they really bother you, there's a way that you can tap for those. One of them is tapping on thoughts, because the thoughts we have are the driving force behind our behavior. But what it takes is a lot of awareness. So that's why Robert calls this direct mindfulness. Direct for mindfulness. Is that the right word, Wanda? For the other practitioners here, help me out, please. So it's ultimate mindfulness tapping, because you become more and more aware of how you're being triggered. What am I thinking? What am I feeling right now? You get really, really good at that. If you do this work and you continue doing it, you become more and more and more of that. I'm getting a lot of noise from somewhere. Does that help, Sue? So there's a lot of clients I work with. I get them just tapping on their thoughts, because they have very strong thoughts, and their thoughts drive their behavior. Their thoughts drive them to live with insomnia, okay, and pain and a whole heap of other things. Anxiety is driven by thoughts, right? Catastrophic thinking, anxious thinking drives anxiety. Depression, the thoughts are of sadness, of grief, of loneliness, is depression. But they all start from our thinking. So if we become aware of our thoughts and we tap on those thoughts, that can give us incredible amount of power, self-empowerment.
I think I'm still going to come back, but we can pick this up later, about there may not be a conscious thought. You said we live from our unconscious, so
absolutely
we can come back to this.
Yeah.
So we'll contact you.
And the other way to do it, so if I had a client and they weren't aware of their thoughts, but they felt it in their body, we'd start there. We'd go there. We'd work on what's happening in the body, because the body has a memory map as well. Yeah? Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Doing well, everyone. Okay, so how are we going, everyone, okay? Do you want to get into some tapping? Everyone ready to go? All right. So what we're going to do is I want you to choose something small, okay? I want you to choose something that's been bothering you, but I don't want it to get any stronger than about a 7, okay? Can you do that? And so what I'd like you to do now is just to close your eyes and notice how you know that you have this problem. Notice how you know. It may be images. It may be a feeling. It may be thoughts, lots of angry thoughts, sad thoughts. So just see what you see there in this problem. Hear what you hear. Feel what you feel. Notice the smells, the tastes, the colours, the images. Look around you. And I want you to go to the part that bothers you the most about this problem. But remember, no higher than a 6 or 7. Notice how you do that. And what I'd like you to do now is to see this problem for the very last time. Now imagine in front of you a sandcastle on the beach, and the waves come in. What's going to happen to that sandcastle? It's just going to get washed away. Yeah? Back out into the ocean, and notice how it takes your problem out into the ocean with it. Got it? Now I want you to open your eyes, and I want you to lift your head up, put your head back, and just roll your eyes to the back of your head. And now bring your head down and look down. Now look to the right and look to the left and look at me. Or as Kath and Kim say, look at moi, the Aussies. And I want you to roll your eyes around this way and now this way. Good job. And now feeling your fingertips, starting at the eyebrow point. Now, Cindy, I think you're the only one here who hasn't tapped before.
Yeah.
Starting at the eyebrow point, just feeling your fingers. And what I want everyone to do is tap with 3 fingers. And now tap with 2. And now tap with 1. And now back to what you're comfortable with. And you can tap with one hand. You can tap on either side. You can tap with 2 hands. You can also just massage if that feels better for you. Okay? So starting at the eyebrow point now, I want you to repeat everything I say. I am now eliminating.
I am now eliminating
All of my sadnesses.
All of my sadnesses.
Fears.
Fears.
And all this emotional trauma. COVID-19.
COVID-19.
Fed up with it.
Fed up
with it.
The government. Panic buying. The misinformation. This virus, I'm letting it go.
This virus, I'm letting it go.
I'm letting it go.
Side of the eye. We go to the side of the eye. I am now eliminating. My angers.
My anger.
Frustrations. The guilt. All the blame. The shame. People are dying alone. So frightened of the future, my financial future.
So frightened of my financial future.
But I'm ready to let that go. Now under the eye, releasing and letting go. The judgments.
Criticisms.
Being abandoned and betrayed. This legislation. What if they take away all our freedom and our rights?
What if they take away all our freedom and our rights?
But I'm ready to let it go.
I'm ready to let it go.
On the collarbone, releasing and letting go.
Releasing and letting go.
All the feelings of helplessness.
All the feelings of helplessness.
This feeling of no control.
This feeling of
no control.
Take responsibility.
Take responsibility.
The powerlessness.
The powerlessness.
Or the overwhelm and the uncertainty.
The overwhelm and the uncertainty.
So unpredictable, changes every day.
Unpredictable changes every day.
I catch it and die.
I catch it and die.
And leave my children behind on their own.
And leave my children behind on their own.
Die alone.
Die alone.
All this grief. Just let it go.
Just let it go.
I might leave it here on Zoom.
I might leave it here on Zoom.
And as I let it all go, I notice a sense of calm.
I notice a sense
Sense of peace and harmony inside of me.
Peace and harmony inside of me.
And I live from the upper model of the world. Full responsibility for me.
Full responsibility for me.
I'm okay now.
I'm okay now.
Now take a deep breath in and blow it out and hold your wrist and say peace. And inside your mind, I want you to go to a peaceful place, either real or imagined. See what you see in your peaceful place. Hear what you hear. Notice the colors and the images. Notice the smells, the taste, and that feeling inside of you, that good feeling, that happy feeling, the joyful feeling, the feeling of contentment, peace. Whatever you feel in your peaceful place, notice that in your body and where it is and how good that feels. And make it stronger. Make it stronger and stronger. And what I want you to do is send it to you in this problem. Send it to you there. And notice you're receiving it and how good that feels. And just notice it drifting down now, that feeling from the top of your head all the way down to the tips of your toes, through every cell of your body as you feel that good feeling. Now take a deep breath in and blow it out and say peace. Good job. Now, what I'm going to do, it's so lovely seeing smiley faces when you go to your happy place and lots of yawning. Now, I didn't mention earlier, when you're doing this tapping, sometimes what happens is what we call an abreaction. Your body, because this is a mind-body work, your body will start releasing, okay? And sometimes that can be yawning. Sometimes that can be a restlessness in your body. Sometimes it can show up as discomfort in your body. Often people say to me, oh my goodness, my shoulders hurt, you know, or my throat feels really tight. So often lots of things happen in your body. Also, tonight you might notice when you go to bed, you might have more dreams, okay? Sometimes lots of memories start to surface, but you can just use this tapping to address that. You tap for dreams. Any dreams that you don't like, keep the good ones, keep all those, but the ones you don't like, you can tap on them and tap on your memories, okay? So I just want to explain quickly, particularly for people like Cindy, maybe Lee, and a few other people who haven't done a lot of tapping. The tapping part of this is the least important part. The most important part, and tapping is one of them, is what we call defractionation, the defrac. So what I did when we did that little exercise was I got you to aim on the problem. So you chose a problem and you aimed. So you went inside and you found it in your brain. Your brain had a recording of it. You found it, you accessed it, you felt the feelings, you saw it, okay? Everything that the brain recorded of that problem. It takes like a little snapshot of that problem and it records it in the cortexes of your brain, okay? Again, if you want to know more about that, listen to Robert. He is the master of how the brain works. Truly, he's amazing. So what we did then, so when I took it into the problem, what happens is the brain is often going into a hypnotic-like state. It goes into a trance-like state. So, you know, when I was saying to you before how, you know, I'd get upset with my husband and I'd be in a trance for days. I'd be in that sadness for days, feeling miserable and wearing a mask that I was okay, you know. that used to drain my energy, I can tell you. I'm not doing that anymore. And so what I did was I took it into the trance. We aimed at the problem. And then when I took it out of it, that was the first defrac, was I got you to open your eyes and look around. Look around. You're breaking the trance. If you're tapping and you stay in your trance, it will not change. So I don't know how many people say to me, I've tapped and nothing changes. It's because you're still in your trance, right? Your defrac techniques need to be bigger than your problem. That's why I asked you to just pick something small, all right? So your defrac needs to be bigger than the problem. So I got you to roll your eyes around, and then the tapping is your next defrac. So what you're doing is your attention is going to a somatic feeling. You're feeling the tapping, and that pulls you out of the trance. Okay? The third one was going to your peaceful place. Now, I saw a whole heap of people with big smiles in their faces. And I bet the problem you're working on, you weren't smiling, right? And so what we call, and I was explaining this to JP the other day, is this is the bad, good collapse. You go to the bad, and then you go to the good, and that collapses the bad very quickly in your brain. It flattens it out, the neural pathways, okay? And then when you go to your peaceful place, you're enhancing that. You're enhancing the good feelings. And that's why you want to spend a lot of time in those good feelings to collapse that bad stuff. Now, any questions about that? Just unmute yourself. It's very new to some people. Sue, this would be very new to you. And Alan, still fairly new to you as well. So if you've got any questions about that, just unmute and ask me, please. We're going really well for time.
Yes, I will go. It's a belief that I've read about a subconscious mind that, you know, when you see the words, well, I'll just explain the situation. What happens when I was tapping, when you say things that are frightening, like, you know, I'm going to die alone or whatever. I know I know the process.
The government.
Yeah, but the
all
word,
of that, yes. The
word itself,
the words.
kind of,
okay.
my mind kind of stick to the words, and it's
so let me explain that. So remember earlier we were talking about some people, it's the thoughts that bother them the most. So sometimes our thoughts bother us so much we go and jump off the bridge, right? Our thoughts bother us so much that we have other voices that will come into our head. Okay, so if you're a person that's become very good at listening to your thoughts and believing your thoughts, because thoughts are not real. We have 80,000, 70,000 a day of thoughts. And most of them are on rewind, most of them on repeat. But some people get very good at listening to their thoughts and acting on their thoughts because they don't realize how much power they're giving to those thoughts. Thoughts come and they go. They come and they go.
Yeah.
Some people, so everybody's brains works differently. Your brain will work how yours works because of your past upbringing. And even further than that, you know, I do a lot of work on generational trauma. I follow the lines of the families. So if I'm working with a woman who's anxiety, I follow her line of all the women in her life with anxiety.
Yeah.
So some people are very good at the feelings. It's all about the feelings. Some people are about the thoughts. Some people like yourself, JP, it's about the words.
Yeah, which is
the
kind of
words have a big impact. So taking full responsibility for yourself means every time you notice the words are having an impact on you, they're not real. It's just because you're paying attention to them, you're focusing on them, right? So the most important thing is not to focus on them and go into the trance of those words. You'll be going into a hypnotic trance of the word. And you're doing that because you've just become very skilled at it. You've become very good at it. Yes? Can you relate to that?
Yeah, also because I've read books about it, so I have kind of references and beliefs around that.
But JP, it's not just what you've read, because we've all read all that stuff. I've read all that stuff, but it's not in me. I don't have a fear of the words getting me, right?
Because I believe it, and Yeah.
And what is a belief?
I would say a thought that adds feeling to it. That was no.
Watch Robert's videos, guys, on what a belief is. You need to listen and learn about what a belief is. A belief has lots of threads, right? A belief has lots of proofs, a whole heap of proofs, not just something I read once is not a belief. It's just something I read once. A belief is I've heard it a lot, I've read it a lot, other people have it. So I have lots and lots of proofs and lots of references and lots of memories to support that.
Yeah.
Yes?
That makes sense.
Can you relate to that?
Yes.
Yes. So you've got to get to work on that. If you don't want that to be a problem for you, the words, you find those proofs, find the references, and get to work on tapping on them. Yes?
Okay.
Tap and tap and tap and tap. As Robert says, tap until you pass out.
Yes.
It doesn't mean that literally, but it means keep tapping on it. Because what happens is you've established a very strong neural pathway in your brain for that. Same as the person who does it with their thoughts. Same as the person who does it with their feelings. Same as the person who visualizes it all, right? So you figure out what yours is, figure out yourself how you do it, right? That's been my journey as I've been doing FasterEFT. How do I tick? That's my job. What's happening inside of me is my responsibility. And the best part about it is, like, all my mentors that I listen to and learn from, they all talk about this, but not many of them have actually a process to help you deal with it. Okay? Some of them do, and they're very slow and they're long and they're very expensive. Robert puts all his stuff on YouTube for free, you know, and then you can go and do his courses if you want to do more intensive stuff. In fact, better still, come and do my courses. I'm just about to put my courses online, and I'm going to take this opportunity and give you a little break too. Look, see this? That is my happy journal, right? And the first course that I'm going to be doing, look at that. The first course I'm going to be doing, hopefully by next week, I'm working with my course developer at the moment. We're both working very, very hard. And I'm going to have a Making Magic Happy Journal workshop course, hopefully launching next week. So keep an eye out for that. And then I'm going to have one on developing emotional resilience. Okay, and we'll be doing lots more of this and building on it, and lots of tapping. Then the one after that I'm going to do is for couples. There's such a need for couples are struggling at the moment. There's such a need for it. So keep your eye out for those. Okay, any other questions before we go into checking our problem? Laura?
I have kind of a question and a comment. So when he was just talking about, JP was talking about being triggered by a word. I was triggered by the same word. So
what word was that?
Dying.
Dying, yes. I think we're all triggered by that one, aren't we?
Yeah.
Anybody out there not?
If we're tapping and in the middle of the tapping, we're triggered by the thought or something in the session that's being said, is that the moment you can get crazier with your tapping? Like, you don't have to just do this. You could start fake laughing or... That's
right. So that's what we're going to do now. That's what we're going to do now. All right. So now what I want you all to do is... Sorry, can it wait, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Can it wait? All right.
Yep.
So now what we're going to do is we're going to go back and check your problem, guys. So close your eyes. Close your eyes. And go back to that problem that you were working on. And notice how it's changed. Notice how it's different. See what's left there. Hear it. The smells, the taste, the colours, maybe even change the images. If there's somebody else in that problem that you're working with, have a look at the expression on their face and notice that's changed as well now. But what I want you to do now is just notice what's left there. Notice what's left in that problem and give it a rating, what it is. Got it? Good. Now you're going to open your eyes again and look at me. And this time, tapping on the eyebrow point, starting here, I want you to do some fake laughing. You ready? This is another defrack. Laughing along with me. This problem no longer bothers me. That government, what government? I'm the boss of me. Just let it go. Under the eye. Dying alone. On the collarbone. Just let it go. All the worries, all the concerns, all that toilet paper buying, just letting it go. I'm okay now. I'm safe now. Just letting it go. Choosing to feel peace inside of me, regardless of what is going on in the world. I'm choosing to feel harmony, contentment, and peace inside of me. That's my responsibility. Take a deep breath in, blow it out, and say peace, peace, peace. Good job. So that was another defrack, guys, right? So remember I said to you, if you're going into your trance of your thought, your feeling, whatever it is, your defrack has got to be bigger than the problem. So laughter is an awesome one, right? Just make yourself laugh. Doesn't matter how bad it is, just make yourself laugh. Go and watch a funny little clip, you know? Save some on YouTube and just go and watch those. It'll pull you out of the trance. You can dance and tap. That's awesome. Yep. Okay. Now, any questions about that part? Just unmute yourself. Anyone I can't see on the screen who wants to say something? Anyone who hasn't said anything yet?
One issue that hasn't come up is estrangement from grandchildren, which is an emotional.
I'm feeling that one.
A deep emotional issue. And
so how you would address that, Lee, is that specific to you, like it is for me and all the other grandmothers and grandfathers and aunts and uncles out there who are missing their loved ones. And I thought you were saying goodbye, Sue. No, okay. So what you do, Lee, is you close your eyes and you focus on your sadness. This is you doing it for yourself, okay? To bring yourself to some peace and harmony in your life. You can't do anything about it. It's out of our control. Just do the best you can. Like my grandchildren came the other day. I just watched them from the balcony. You know, and I left some gifts there for them. They had hand sanitizer with them. Even though, you guys, you know that hand sanitizer is antibacterial, right? And this is a virus. So just use soap if you can, right? Just soap and water. So you would just tap on that, Lee, until you feel better. And you know how I would do that? When you go to your happy place, imagine your grandchildren being there with them. This is what I do. That's what I do. I tap if I feel frustrated and sad, and I listen to their frustration as well. You know, my granddaughter says to me, Nanny, I'm sick of this corona. I want the corona to go. I want to give you a cuddle. Why can't I cuddle you? So, you know, I just smile and we talk, you know, I make her laugh. I defrack usually. I make her laugh. And do you know what I do? I use this guy. And that makes her laugh. So just do that, okay? So this is about everyone taking emotional control for yourself. Anybody else quickly?
Only just
about the defrack.
I was going to say just Robert's surname. I didn't hear it.
Smith, Robert Smith. You'll see him when you go to fastereft.com. You'll see him there in flesh and blood. He's amazing. Now, thank you, Deborah. See you. I'll send the replay, okay? Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so that was another defrack. All right, defrack, very important. So now, when you went back to your problem the second time, was there anybody Cindy, this is your first time. Was there anybody who didn't notice any change, any different? Their problem's still strong?
I went into a bit of a haze.
And when you say haze, Lee, do you mean like your brain starts, so you're working on just that one problem, but your brain's going to lots of other ones?
No, just going into like not thinking. Just like going into like...
Is that a good thing?
I don't know.
I would love that.
Like being half asleep and not focused.
Yeah. This is the brain. So there's two things that can be going on there, and I'll answer this because it may. There's lots of people that are going to be listening to the recording. It might pertain to their problem. What the brain sometimes will do, the brain does lots of different things when you're doing this work because we're working on a really deep subconscious level. Okay, what sometimes will happen is the brain will either switch off because it doesn't want to address it. It escapes from it. It wants to run away from it, doesn't want to deal with it. Okay. I've got lots of clients like that. You know, they're working on this one thing, but they're just diving away to somewhere else. The brain will do that. It'll just go back to something else instead, or it'll just kind of shut down. Or the other thing that could be happening is it's clearing it. It's not there. It's no longer bothering you. And we're going to go back and check that in a minute. So is there anybody else who didn't reduce? Is there anybody else who's completely gone? Anyone there and they check their problem and it's gone. It doesn't bother them anymore. No? So everyone's still got something there. All right. So this is what we're going to do now. We're going to go, Rebecca?
Mine's gone. Sorry.
It's gone. Yeah. Let's give her a big clap, guys. Woohoo! Well done, Rebecca. And how did you do that, Rebecca? How did you make your problem just go away?
I think the process of defracking it helped.
Breaking the trance.
Yeah, breaking the trance and sorry.
It's okay.
Breaking the trance and like just going to my happy place was really powerful.
Awesome. Can I ask you don't have to tell us about the problem. Can I ask you how long has that problem been bothering you for?
I was just working on the one about
just one. We're sticking to one, right, guys?
Just the one that I brought to today with the legislations.
Okay, so that one, yes.
Yeah, that one, I guess.
So you felt all those feelings of that, but not higher than a 7, right?
Yeah.
And then when we tapped on that, what changed?
So what's there now is a sense of freedom and trust that it's going to work out.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And don't we all need an enormous amount of trust at the moment? That's being asked of us in so many different ways. You know, trust and compassion. Compassion for our leaders, what they're going through, you know, validating them. Sometimes I reply to messages on our local scene here. I validate them. I let them know they're doing a really great job, because if I was in that position, my God, you know, I just can't even imagine their situation. Sometimes I see them, they look so tired and exhausted, and everyone's attacking them, you know. Yeah. We need to trust and we need some compassion. But first for ourselves, compassion for ourselves, and then compassion for others. Okay.
Excuse me, Lolita, what about physical pain? We haven't touched on that today. I know you've talked about it.
It's a different kettle of fish, but I would encourage you to just tap on it. Okay?
Just tap on the pain.
I haven't got time to go into it today. Yeah. And the next course I'll be doing will be a pain one, definitely, because remember I lived with chronic pain for 17 years now I don't have one day with pain. So I'm the expert at releasing your pain.
And when will that next course be, Lolita?
Not sure yet. I think my course developer's here. She might, don't know. Depends on me, really. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to go back to the problem, guys. Close your eyes. Go back to your problem that you were working on. And notice what's left there. And if I can get a few people to just let me know, I'm going to unmute. I want you to just let me know, call out a few things that are left in this problem. So see what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. The smells, the taste. Look at the expression on the face, the tone of their voice. Notice what's...
I still have a little feeling of dread.
Dread, that's a good one, Laura. So feel that feeling of dread and give it a rating, that feeling of dread. Anyone else, what's left? If you tell me what's left, I can help you to clear it.
I feel a tightness around my ribs and back, like a band around the middle of my body. Like a band.
But that's come back. Notice the band, and this is good for pain people as well. Notice the shape of it, the colour of it, the size of it, how big it is, how tight it is. Just notice all of that. Okay, give it a rating. Anybody else? Notice what's left for you, because I want to help you to clear it before we finish today.
Lots of headaches.
Headaches? Yep. Again, JP, notice the headache. Give it a rating. Notice the size of it, the shape of it, the colour of it, right? How big it is, and just give it a rating. Anybody else? Elaine, what's left for you?
Emotional fatigue.
Fatigue?
Emotional fatigue.
Emotional fatigue. I think a lot of people are feeling that at the moment. It's like we're going to burnout, you know. It's like compassion fatigue. Just all the feeling of the sadness and, you know, all of that. Imagine what that's like for our healthcare providers in the hospitals. You know, my daughter-in-law's a psychologist. Imagine what that's like for her, you know, and people who are working with people with mental illness. And it's very hard, Elaine. I'm glad you're clearing that. Glad you're clearing it. So notice what that feels like, how strong it is, and also when you may have felt it before. That's really important when you're working on any of your stuff. Notice when you felt it before, because the brain will have a link, okay? And you can collapse all of it in one go if you bring attention to it. Yes?
I also have since 3 days, and I remember the moment. At one point, I was very anxious,
yes,
all over my body, and
yes,
I was trying to drift to sleep. And at one point, my body just felt extremely light and kind of weak.
Okay. So again, notice what that was like for you. It's in your brain. Notice what that felt like and when you felt like that before, any time in your life. Okay? And so now we'll go back to the problem. Notice it. What's left there? And now open your eyes and look at me. And this time, who knows how to sing supercalifragilistic? Ready? Starting at the eyebrow point. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. 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 Now on the collarbone. Umdi-li-li-lum-di-li, just letting go of whatever's left here. That headache, Just letting it go.
Let it go.
Emotional fatigue, letting it go.
All the crap, all the stuff.
The
Let it go.
tightness, the shape of it, the size
Feelings,
of
let it
it.
go. Let it all
Just
go.
letting it all go today. Letting it all go. Take a deep breath in, blow it out. Peace. Hold your wrist. Go to your peaceful place. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel what you feel. The smells, the tastes, all the colours and images. Notice how good that feels. Good job, good job. Okay, so what we did there was we really did some scrambling of that trance, right? Really scrambled it. So singing is another great way to defrack. So when I'm tapping, now we're going to finish up soon because I think we're almost at time. What if you're left with anything? So where is Sue? Are you still there, Sue? Can you unmute yourself for a minute? When you check your tightness now, and before you gave it a shape and a size and a colour, has that changed?
Yes, it has changed, but it's
awesome. What's left? What's left?
In number?
Yes.
Three,
and notice.
4.
And what was it before in tightness and colour
9.
and shape? And 9. How amazing is that? How did you do that, Sue? How did you do it? You took that from a 9
by focusing on it. By focusing.
So focusing on it went to a 9?
No, by
defracking.
Giving it attention.
Yes.
And recognising that it's a experience in my body.
You know it well.
Yeah.
You know it well, don't you? Yes. So you've got a nice strong neural pathway of that tightness and all the sensations of it. Wouldn't you love to be free of it?
Yes.
Yes. Keep tapping. Keep tapping. Well done, you. Mind you, I said to everybody, no higher than a 7. It always happens. It always happens, Sue. Always happens. Just what the brain does. Okay, so whatever you've got left, guys, whatever's there, keep tapping on it until it doesn't bother you anymore. All right? And I like to use 5, every time I'm tapping on something, 5 different ways to defrack. Tapping is 1. Happy place, number 2. Fake laughter, number 3. Singing, number 4. Number 5, use numbers. Use numbers, right? Laura's got this. Was it you, Laura? Counting from 100. Every time you get to 3, what do you do?
No, you count from 0. Every number that is a 3, has a 3 in it, or is multiple of 3, you say grapefruit. So 1, 2, grapefruit. 4, 5, grapefruit. 7, 8, grapefruit. 10, 11, grapefruit.
That will really defrack you, right?
You cannot.
So everyone remember those 5 different ways?
No, can you repeat them, please?
And what you're doing, you'll see it on the video. See it on the video again.
Okay, I can't get into
very quickly. Tapping is 1. Happy place 2. Fake laughter 3. Singing, supercalifragilistic, or lollipop, lollipop, ooh, lolly, 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 lollipop. Any other song you like, right? 5, numbers. Use a number. Now, why we do that is it uses all the different parts of your brain to scramble that neural pathway, to flatten it, so it no longer bothers you. Okay, got that? Good. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get to a really good part. What I want you all to do to finish up now is to close your eyes. And I want you to step into your future. Step into your future and notice how it looks now. Maybe it's COVID-19 is gone now. You know, I'm back to my job. I'm back to having those hugs. Back to seeing my friends and socialising again. Going to the park. going to the beach, just anything that you want to happen in your future. I want you to see it. See what you see, hear what you hear, feel those feelings, how good that is. Make it really big, that feeling, really big. Notice where it is in your body. And what I want you to do now is I want you to take this good feeling inside of you and notice just how good it makes you feel. And as you travel forward now in your life, notice how much better you feel in the days and the weeks and the months ahead of you as you allow yourself to feel better, happier, more in harmony, more at peace than you've ever been, knowing that as you take emotional control, everything works out. And if you meet an opportunity to tap and defrack, that you're going to do that. And as you do, your whole life, the people in your life, your family, your friends, in fact, your whole world just gets better and better simply because you've taken charge. You've taken responsibility and emotional control for what's happening inside of you. You've forgiven yourself and you love yourself and you make peace with yourself. Now take a deep breath in and blow it out and say peace. Good job. How was that for everyone? Good?
Felt good, yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, great.
Now I'm going to play a little bit of music for you. I want you to just close your eyes and enjoy this. And then we'll have a quick little feedback call and then we'll be off, okay? Here we go. Sing along if you want to.
I see friends not shaking hands, singing how do you do? They're really singing I love you. I see babies cry. I watch them
What a wonderful world.
pretty in the sky. Also faces, people of mine. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? I love you.
What a wonderful world.
And as Louis Armstrong would say, oh yeah. That's my Louis Armstrong impersonation. Okay, guys. How was that?
It was really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. How's everyone feeling? I can see some tears. I can see some smiles. I can see lots of peace, contentment.
Relax.
Just unmute yourself. Cindy, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I found some parts of it difficult, but I can see how it could benefit me going forward to keep doing some of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and look, you're just on the bottom rung, okay? And what I would encourage you to do is watch those videos to get your foundation.
Okay, thank you.
And also, what was the problem bit? Can I help with that quickly?
My problem?
You said there was a little problem you had. Do you mean the problem that you're working on, or problem with the technique? Anything with that? No? Okay. Anyone else?
My happy place, when you said to include my grandchildren, but then it was too sad because I was happy and sad, but I was sad because the grief of
the mixed emotions.
Yeah.
Grief of not seeing them. There's a lot of grief around at the moment, Lee. It's probably the biggest emotion that people are feeling. Okay, make peace with it. Make peace with it however you can. Sometimes all those emotions can be just that feeling of love that we have for them. You know, when I do that with my grandchildren, I'm always crying.
Yeah.
You know, but it's my heart's full of love for them. And that's what I focus on. I choose to focus on the love that never goes away. That's always there.
Yeah.
You know, and remember everyone, this is temporary. It feels like it's not, but it's just a blip in our whole life. Yeah. We've got our whole life ahead of us. And you have got the best tool on the planet to deal with your life's issues, with dealing with stress and emotions. You know, that's why I'm doing this at the moment, to teach people this, because if you can learn it now, it's not just for now. I'll be tapping until I die. You know, I tap every day. I've been doing this for 5 years. I tap every day. Do you all use your toothbrush every day? Yes. Tap every day. Okay. Keep following me. Keep coming to these, and you'll get better and better and better at it. And honestly, you'll live a life from the upper model of the world where you're happy every day because you have a choice. You have a choice now, whether you want to stay miserable or you want to be happy. You do have a choice. Laura.
I just wanted to say and I've been doing this for a while and I'm still working on things, but for people that are just starting out, I started out finding Robert by accident on YouTube, and I was not feeling well at all at the time. And I literally for 2 days did nothing but watch Robert and his videos, his 3 videos, and just watching him for those days, I felt so much better health-wise.
Well done.
And I still didn't know much of the nitty-gritty. I do now, but
you don't have to. You know, you don't have to, just know the basic, understand the basic, and just keep doing it, and you'll get.
And just watching and learning about it and understanding it just helped. It like brought calm. So I really encourage people to just watch stuff, and on his free stuff that he has on his site too.
Yes. Yeah. Excellent. Thank you, Laura. Anyone else? I just want to say big thank you to all you guys. I just
Thank you.
love
One thing, Lalita, if we wanted to have a 30-minute session with you, we just send you a message on Facebook.
Message me. We'll make a time and we'll work through stuff. Okay. And please, everyone, you know, go and have a look on my website as well. And this recording, I'm going to send you to YouTube to watch it. And I want you all to subscribe for me, please. My goal this year is to have 1,000 people subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm finally getting off my butt thanks to COVID-19. A lot of things to be grateful for the COVID. I got off my butt and starting to get stuff on YouTube. Thank you, Sarah. You've been such a great help to me. Thank you. No questions there, Wanda?
No.
All good? Excellent. And you will all have questions. You'll have questions, message me. But if you just keep watching the videos, they will answer the questions for you. Okay? JP?
Just a quick question. If we have a hard time feeling good emotions, I feel like my heart kind of has blocked itself, if that makes sense. Like I'm doing my best to feel good emotion. Everyone is different. Some people will have to imagine.
Do you know what, JP?
Yeah.
When I got you to go to the happy place, you were the first person that I saw with a big smile on your face.
Yeah, true.
So your heart has not blocked, JP, right?
Maybe it's just I can't
tell me what the happy place was like for you. What put that smile on your face?
I think I remembered me with my dog.
Yes.
Prior, when I was young.
Okay. So
and
see yourself. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. And anyone, if you need to go, please go. I'm just going to quickly help JP.
Thank you, Lalita.
Welcome. Big love. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Blessings. So JP, close your eyes and go to your happy place with your dog. You can see it, can't you? You got an image of it, your dog, and you've got the image of you as a little boy. How old are you there, roughly?
I imagine myself right now with my dog.
At your age now. Wonderful, wonderful. So as you see yourself with your dog now, what are you seeing?
Yeah, I'm seeing kind of a old memory, which is not really, I'm seeing myself in my parents' house with my dog, but like in this present moment.
But you're an adult. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Your brain is very clever. And now what I want you to do is see that's what you see. What do you hear? What do you hear there? Can you hear the dog barking or panting or anything?
I hear nothing, just visuals.
Right. And what do you see?
My dog naively or innocently just staying there while I kind of, move my hands all around.
And while you're doing that, what are you feeling as you're doing that? I see a smile on your face. What are you doing? What are you feeling?
I just feel like
comfort. Is it comfort? Is it love?
I feel good, just peaceful to giving a massage to my dog, and it's appreciating it.
It's responding, appreciating. Yeah. And what you're feeling inside of you, is that unconditional love? He doesn't judge you.
No, I know.
He doesn't challenge you. He's not questioning you.
True.
He's just accepting that you're patting him.
But what I feel is like, I don't know if that makes sense, but it feels like a surface feeling. Like I feel some peace, but it's not deep.
When you were a little boy, what was the feeling then? Go to when you were the little boy with this dog. How old were you there? The feeling's stronger there, isn't it? Yeah? Good.
Yeah, I feel sad right now.
Yeah. What is it that you feel sad about? That you don't have the dog anymore? That you're not that little boy anymore? What do you think's making you feel sad right now?
I think it's all
Miss him?
The stuckness that I felt in the last weeks or years or months. I don't know.
Maybe your brain's going, gee, if I could just be that little boy and just be with the dog, I don't have to deal with all this stuff, right? Could it be that? Yeah? Because while you're that little boy with that little dog and the dog's loving you unconditionally, right? Doesn't matter, you've ignored it, you haven't been around, you haven't fed it, it still loves you, right?
Yeah.
But notice that unconditional love as a little boy and that relationship that you have with your dog. A loving, kind relationship that you have with your dog. And what I want you to do is just feel that feeling, that little boy. Step inside of him. Notice what's happening for him as he's patting the dog. And the dog's just loving him unconditionally. Feel that feeling. And now what I want you to do is I want you to call that little boy over to you. Call him over. Does he come?
Yeah.
Hold him in your arms. Hold him tight. And whisper in his ear. He's listening. Whisper in his ear something you've been waiting to hear. And he has some messages for you. He has some gifts for you that he wants you to receive. That's going to help you to make the changes that you need to make, JP. And you're going to take those messages with you, even in your sleep. They're going to help you make the changes. Receive that message, those gifts. And now I want you to put your arms around him and hold him tight. And squeeze him and pull him right into you. Put your hand on your chest and feel him drifting into your heart. And he's right there with you, that little boy. He's never left you. He's always there with you, every step of the way. You're together, connected, bonded. You're taking good care of him. You're going to look after him and you're going to listen to him carefully. He's always there with you and you're together. Now take a deep breath in and blow it out. And say peace.
Peace.
Hold your breath. Awesome. Awesome. How was that? You felt those feelings, didn't you? Now, what you need to do is keep practicing that. That was very real, right? It was there and it was very real. So I want you to just